Terry, please rise. We will have the prayer and the pledge. Danny, I'll let you pray if you want. Everybody bow their heads. May the God known to each of us provide the strength and wisdom to perform the duties and fulfill the responsibilities required by our oaths of office. May our actions be pleasing to God and meet the expectations of the citizens we serve. Amen. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order for Tuesday, December 17, 2024. Council members, you have minutes from the regular council meeting on December 3rd and the council work session from December 3rd. What is the pleasure?
I'll make a motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second for the approval of the minutes from December 3rd as well as the work session December the 3rd. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item is public comment. Dan, would you stand and give your name and address for the record, please?
Yeah, my name is Dan Cochran. Address is 1 Woodridge Court, over in Timber Lake.
Yes.
All right.
You have the floor, sir.
I have the floor. Okay, so here we go. I'm coming to you on behalf of a couple of things. One for baseball, one for basketball. I'm coming to you today as the president of Barboursville Little League Baseball. We have some funds that we would like to install a new set of lights on what we call the minor softball field, the one towards the back of the field. We have the funds to do that with wooden power poles. Okay, we've got the appropriate quotes and everything. We may ask for a little bit of help with some of the electrical and some of the install. But the one thing I want to make the city aware of, if we put in wooden power poles, the liability policy that Little League carries does not cover wooden power poles. They kind of outlawed the wooden power poles about 20 years ago, and they require wooden poles. Used a lot of some of my contacts here, and I talked to your insurance agent, and the city does have a blanket insurance policy that in case something would happen with those wooden poles, Little League's going to say they don't cover it, so our policy would not kick in, and it would fall on the city. I want to make you guys aware.
Have you guys looked into the metal power poles and the costs behind that?
I have.
Is it
I'll give you the numbers.
difference?
Okay, so if we get with the wooden poles, the equipment and everything itself is $29,698. We think we can get some volunteer work to get the poles set, and then we would probably ask the city for a little bit of help of getting some of the electrical and some of the install, the same way they did with the other poles. The metal poles come in at $64,843 for a difference of $35,143.
I'm gonna guess that you haven't done this, but I know that, and we have somebody who helps with grant writing and finding additional funding.
Okay.
The water company, AP, all have community service dollars that have to be doled out. So I'd be interested in finding out if we can get some funds from the electric company to help us pay for this project, and we'd be happy to help you guys do that.
If you can point me in the right direction, we have them.
I will. I'll have Lacey Conley reach out to you. She
Okay.
helps with our grant writing. But I also know someone at the electric company. Danny has a contact there as well. I'd say between the three of us, we can get somebody to talk to. But if there's a good amount of paperwork involved with a grant, there usually is.
Mm-hmm.
We have somebody who does that, and we can help you administrate that.
Okay, that would be awesome.
So okay.
The second part on that is the Buddy League basketball. I know there's been some talking. I only hear rumors of possibly a little bit of a rec center going out here. Okay, so I just wanted to give you guys some information to help you make your decision on that. So I'm a board member with the Little Buddy League basketball. At the moment, we have 260 kids, ages 4 through 18. And at the moment, between the months of November and February, we spend $15,000 in the gym because we do not have a place to play. None of those gyms are in Barboursville, so all of our games are played outside of Barboursville, either in Huntington, Ona, someplace other than Barboursville. We have 6 different locations. It's up to you guys, obviously, but how you want to utilize that $15,000. But if we were able to bring that back into the league, we dropped the number, the amount that the kids have to pay for registration. Right now, it's around $80 a kid to play for 2 or 3 months of basketball. We feel we could get that to around $50 a kid. or if we could keep it the same and you guys could possibly have, in 3 to 4 months, $15,000 of revenue generated by the building. I'm personally involved in the travel basketball teams when we go to other places, and they do this year round. There's a place up in Gallipolis that is playing basketball year round, so just kind of keep that in mind as a metric for where you want to go there. So that's basically it. Just wanted to give you some numbers there of what these kids are experiencing. None of them get to play in the city ball.
Just for, so you know where we are on this, we've talked about it, we have some preliminary drawings of an indoor facility. This week, I pulled them back out, because we haven't talked about it in a while. Give the council time to, give some feedback on that, but our architects who we've engaged to talk to us about a couple projects are engaged about the indoor facility out there too, so we're gonna bring them back in January
Okay.
to have a chat with them, see what the needs are, maybe see what we can do, but that is on our radar.
If there's anything we can do to give you numbers, anything to help you with that. So
Would you mind to email me your numbers that you gave tonight?
No.
I wrote some down, but I'm not sure I got everything correct, but if you wouldn't mind just emailing it to me.
I'll give you everything that we
Perfect.
went over tonight.
Okay.
What would you say my next steps of action are on at least the baseball side? So,
Well, I think just let's get you and Lacey linked up on finding out if there's money from AEP, and then I also think, by the way we've set stuff up in the past, I think Park Board needs to hear about any plans that you guys would have too. So
Okay.
we'll put it in front of them,
okay,
put it on their agenda,
okay,
and then we'll go from there.
perfect, good deal.
So are you planning on installing the wooden
So,
ones, or, I mean, is that what we're talking about?
I-
It's either or, is that what?
I don't want to
what you're
speak for
talking-
anybody, but I mean, if we're sitting here talking about something that's not gonna be covered under insurance with them and us, that worries me.
so it is covered under.
It's under ours.
It would only be on ours.
It's not
only
theirs.
yours.
It would immediately go to us.
Well, secondly, I mean, we've made so many improvements out there, it'd be nice to have it uniform and look
We,
like
we,
a proper building.
we've always been asked to put some skin in the game, and we're willing to do that. We still have funds. Our concession stand did well. We're still working with the funds that you gave us last time. The reason that we want to do this now is there's 4 nights a week, maybe 5, where the girls are getting shut down early, and we feel it's the biggest need to give the biggest improvement is to let these girls play in the evening. The drawback is that it's not Little League approved, so when they have tournament play, state tournaments, everything, that field cannot be utilized because of the metal poles. But the greater good is for the kids here, so we can afford as the league to put the wooden ones in. If we get the grant writing,
Yeah, I think we look at some alternative funding, and two, I think that shoots the idea in the foot about, monetizing the facility. If you can't use it for those tournaments.
we can't use it for what they call tournament play. But we
Right.
still have the 2 fields, and I did get with the district director in the past 4 years that field's being utilized once.
Okay,
So
all good information. I
Yeah.
think I'll link you up with Lacey,
okay.
and then between Dan and I will give our AAP contacts as well, and we'll go from there on that project.
All right. Thank you all so
Yeah,
much.
thank you.
Good information.
Yeah, absolutely. We do not have anyone else signed in to speak tonight. We have departmental updates. I'll just say, if you have questions, I encourage you to ask those at this time, but also if you have work order stuff that you see, please feel free to submit those as always, or shoot one of us a text. And I'll just say, Rooster, your guys have been under a lot of pressure lately. We appreciate their work up on the interstate and keep people safe, and we want to make sure they're kept safe as well. Backlash is people are mad that they can't get somewhere quick enough, but in all reality, the most important thing is keeping your guys safe and the public safe, and they do a great job of that. Any questions for the chief about, what's that? Yeah, we're at department updates right now, yeah. Any questions for Danny or the chief? Okay. I will say, since we're at departmental updates, can't say a whole lot because of some non-disclosure stuff that went on over the past couple weeks. But I will tell you, I went to the National Conference for Village Karaoke. They started here 8 years ago, and they were in 10 counties. By the end of January coming up, I think they said they'll be in 27 states. And by the middle of next year, they'll be in over 30, 35 states. Company's the fastest growing home health organization in the country. That originated right here with 3 kids who went through Barboursville. It's pretty cool. Their conference is well attended. They as far as a company goes, it was a neat experience. It was a neat experience getting to speak to them about our relationship with them since they've been here. It was a very, very good conference, and I'm so proud of those guys for and doing it here. Next thing is ICSC. I go to twice a year. We're on a tipping point again, so I'll say that there are a number of LOIs that we got. Can't say anything just yet about specifics, but about a half dozen, and then we have a really cool project that may transpire with a, sounds funny, but with a retail side along with the school board in terms of training. So, yeah, I can't say a whole lot, but I can promise you that if it happens, it will be the first of its kind in the country. Pretty neat stuff. Very productive couple weeks for me, and I appreciate the staff around City Hall just handling things, and it's nice to be able to just be comfortable when you're out of town knowing things are gonna get done, so I say thanks to the staff for that. We do not have old business. We do have new business, and it's one item, and it's consideration of approval bid for municipal solid waste. Danny, would you like to speak to that, sir?
Yes. We advertised in the paper as required, and we only received one bid. And actually, it's a place that we like to use. And this coming year, the price remains the same as last year. But this time around, we asked them to quote for 2 additional years, so we wouldn't have to go through this every year. And for the next fiscal year, beginning in January 2026, the rates are increased 50 cents per ton over this year. And then the following year, which begins January 1st, 2027, is 50 more cents per ton higher. Now, the question in the back of my mind, we're not allowed to obligate the next administration with contracts, so we would have to attach a clause to their contract giving the village the right to cancel the 2027.
Are they okay with that?
I don't know, I have to ask them.
So, you would want, your ask though would be to approve it with the 2 subsequent years,
Yes,
as long as they're okay with it. Otherwise, we'd be approving, go back to the 1 year.
yes, yes.
Mark, is that okay to do that?
Well, we haven't approved anything yet. I think it's proper to approve it with the condition that, our approval is contingent upon state law requirements. And to be a little more precise, it's not that you can't bind future administrations, you cannot bind future councils beyond the fiscal year.
Right.
So, but that being said, anybody who does work with, government agencies are used to that provision, and so all it needs is an out clause that says if for some reason there's a change of heart, the city is not obligated to follow through with it, and that is accepted by the vendors routinely. So, with the understanding that it's an expression of intent, is our intent to take advantage of the submission.
Yep.
But for some reason something changes next fiscal year, like we have no money, we're allowed to, change. I don't think it should be a problem from their perspective. I think this is routine. So I think you could opt to move forward on tonight with the understanding that Danny will be responsible for communicating with the vendors, saying it's approved subject to this limitation and state.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. That's all. I think it's pretty normal, to be honest.
Then would someone like to make a motion
I'll make a
of what
motion
he
that
said?
what Mark said, and approve the consideration of the solid waste.
With the 2 years of
With the-
increase,
yes,
and
that's
then
correct.
the outflows.
Yes,
Okay.
and the alcohol.
Can you draft us in that clause?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So this is a 3-year.
Yeah, it'll be
That's correct.
transition
Yeah,
from second
I
to
like it.
50 cents
Pretty good.
guaranteed is
Right.
pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, get it done much easier
Yeah,
now
well,
than
then
it
they
takes.
still think it'd be, what, 6 months, and then so if they want to
Yeah,
do
yeah,
something
yeah,
else,
right.
they can
Yeah.
accept, that's
Yep,
correct.
that's
Yeah,
right.
it's not like we're doing it the next day.
Make sure we have a motion and a second.
We have a motion, second.
And a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I wanna jump back to one other thing that was mentioned in the last council meeting, and, because you had asked about it, Isha, is that we had some properties that you mentioned. Mike and, Mark, himself have talked about those. Notices have been sent to 3 of those. There's a couple that are wrapped up in estate matters, but all those that can be addressed are being addressed, just so you know. And I'll send out kind of a summary to you guys. I talked to Mike today. Mark had a chance to talk to Mike today as well. Headway's being made, so I'll send a summary out to you guys on those.
Thank you for following.
Yep, thank you, for letting us know. One other thing, I wanna make sure that we get in the record, Teresa Higgins had given some to Nisha to get put into the record, and it's, concerning a number of places, throughout the village, and it deals with, cars in yards, dilapidated structures, fences and whatnot. I won't go through and read the whole thing, but we will put this in as part of the record for, from minutes for next time, so I'll give you that. And then I'll give her a buzz and let her know that we put it in our meeting minutes.
She had a brother had surgery or something.
Yeah. So that's all I have this evening, Rachel.
Thank you all for being here. Thank you for coming prepared and sharing your numbers and stuff. It's good information that will help the city make good decisions. And, I know space is needed for basketball, especially because I have kids that have grown out of buddy basketball, and I will be behind that for sure. But it's nice to see numbers and know facts, so thank you for sharing that. It's our last meeting of 2024, so I wish you all a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you back in January.
The Christmas dinner with fire departments did great. They did a great job, even though the chicken was late getting there, but it was good. Yeah, the mayor was really late. Yeah, he was really, he was stuck in an airport, remember?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was told several times throughout.
Oh, good.
That's a good one.
Yeah, 30 years. Yes.
The park looks great. We drove out there the other night. All the lights look great. It's just, our town's a Hallmark town, and it really needs to be addressed with the Hallmark people.
They're filming their second movie in the spring. They're taking photos and video of the town while it's decorated for Christmas.
Excellent. Well, I
The
think
other
it
one
would
that
be
they filmed,
wonderful.
just so you know, is called, The Case of Us, I think is what it is. It's scheduled for theater release somewhere around the first second week of January.
I know you go to all these shows and everything, but we were at the mall this week. It amazes me, regardless of how many businesses drop out of all these malls around the world, and we may have 1 or 2 drop out, but they get somebody back in there in no time flat. And that is impressive to me, because our mall is packed.
They're such good partners, and I say
They
that.
really are.
We
They
spend
do
a
a
lot
great
of time
job.
with them.
Thank you all for coming tonight, and Rachel's right, this is our last meeting, so Merry Christmas to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan, for coming. Those are all things that we have discussed because we care about it too. So hopefully Lacey and the connections that they can get you with will work it out, that not only we can do it, but you can do it with the medicals. That would be awesome. So, what does the planning commission do?
Well, loosely, in the way that it's written, it is very loose. Their duties need to be redefined. We've talked about a number of things. Part of what Mark and Mike and I talked about with these property issues. There's a number of things you can call it. It just needs a revamp.
Okay. I mean, I really didn't know. I'm not being.
It needs a
I'm not
revamp.
being.
They've come before us for.
I didn't know what the
They've made
purpose.
recommendations about alley closures before. It's been a number of things, like variances on building code stuff. We've had recommendations for them before, but again, it's not been this solid roadmap the whole forever.
Mhm.
So it needs to be buttoned up and tightened up, and if we're gonna do something, it needs an overhaul.
Good. Well, I mean, one reason I was asking is because Teresa's letter. I don't know if that's part of it or not, but I do hope you all read the letter that has it and look at her pictures, because it is very concerning. Paula is right. We are Hallmark, but there's sections of our town that have
That need addressed.
because when we allow it, to happen at one place, and that gives us the neighbor permission to do it too. And if, from the realtor perspective, you can go down certain sections, you can look at certain sections of Huntington, I can pick lots of different places. And it started with, you know, one mess, and now the next thing you know, it's not maintainable. And I know we have the regulations and rules and stuff that are so many feet from the center of the road, and I'd really like to see that followed and warnings given, and not a 4-year warning, but stuff that just, cause it's really, it's kind of getting worse. You know, and I think the food trucks is part of it, and then we've got trailers and food trucks and things at the edge of the road, and people with the glow in the dark things, so at nighttime you don't hit their trailers, and it's getting a little bit concerning that we're losing, rain on some of the things that keeps us Hallmark, that would keep us a Hallmark. As a property owner, you know, I don't want my values of my home to go down, and, as an elected official, you know, I ran on the platform that I would do what's best for the citizens, and while I want to do what's at the ballpark, I want to do all that, what we also have to do is maintain our village for our citizens, keep it as top notch as we can with the rules that Mark says we can abide by. But it is a huge issue for me, and I know Danny knows it is, and I know you know it is, and I just want it on record, because I've just gone to you all as individual, but I want it on record that, you know, I love this place, I plan on dying here, I want my grandkids to be raised here, and I don't want property values to go down, which I'm seeing it, because from my profession, it's a hindrance with people wanting to move here, because what's next door, what's down the road, what they're seeing, what's being done, and my answer is nothing's being done. So, I just really think that we need to, be very serious about it, because I love this place, and I just want what's best for it, so.
Yes, your comments.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
I think you just said it all.
I was gonna say, well, we're out of time.
Yeah, no, I just gonna say the same thing. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody. This last one of the year's been for me, and I feel like the city and us, we've all accomplished a whole lot this year, and you know, looking forward, I think next year and beyond is just gonna be some of the best years ever to be a part of our little town, and very proud to be a part of it and be here, and Dave, thank you for coming, and I was not involved so much with basketball, but I was president for 4 years myself, so I know what you're going through, and I wish you the best of luck, and I think you'll do well. The Little League always has a tremendous amount of support, not only from us, but your community, and you know, it's certainly talking about some hallmark, our hallmark town. It's certainly a hallmark Little League program, and you know, and it doesn't really matter where you go, whether it's you know, here or far. They know Barboursville, and they know what the hat looks like, and they, it's surprisingly, but it is true. So
We talk about our childhood, and that's what we say. Do you remember the Little League field?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all part of it.
yeah, the Little League field is always in the geographic center of town. And it was in the evening come around, and people showed up from walked over just like it was like they did King Cool with football games. But no, that's all I got. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
You guys have anything this evening? There's nothing else for the end of the year. We will adjourn the meeting. Thanks for coming.